All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is David from the Memphis Game Developers, and this month we are going to be talking about Daz Studio and how to get your creations from Daz into Unity. Now, this is going to be kind of a short one this month because I had this whole spiel and workflow all worked out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And apparently last week, Daz just released a Daz to Unity bridge that basically takes everything down into just a few mouse clicks here. So if you're new to Daz and you're coming from the Unity side, um, Daz is a 3D character creation rendering animation suite. It's not quite a full 3D creation studio like Blender or Maya or Autodesk or anything like that. It's more about creating a character, posing them, animating them, getting different outfits on them and stuff. Um, I came across Daz, oh God, like 15 so years ago when before they started with like their Genesis stuff. So let's just hop right in, I guess. So the first thing you'll do when you install Daz, you'll have this Daz Central, and this is kind of their dashboard that they use to install all of your plugins and all the different assets that you buy from their web store. Here you'll see all the stuff that I've picked up over the years. There are categories by different their figure types. So their newest figure type is Genesis 8. It's been around for a couple of years now, and it goes back to Genesis 2, 3, 4, all the way back to whenever. When was this? Yeah, 2006 is when I bought my first assets for this. Anyways, from here, you can install the different figures and plugins that you buy, and they also break it out into their different compatible assets for the different plugins here. There's a Blender bridge, a Unity bridge. There's also an Unreal bridge that I've never actually messed with before, but apparently it's pretty good too. From here, you also you have your assets, you have the different plugins, and you have resources, which are good. There's a good fact here. There's tutorials and stuff for all the different aspects of actual Daz itself. So actually, inside Daz, it's not a whole lot different from, say, Blender. You do have your assets here on the left. In the middle here, you'll have a viewport, and on the right, you'll have your different properties for your different assets here. You can mess around with the viewport here. You can go top, down, front, right, left, all that good stuff. When you actually here in your scene view, you can uh, drop down into your different components that you have here. Uh, there's a lot of different assets that you can buy, and not all of them are compatible with each other or the different figures that you have. So what they've done for you here is you have a smart content tab, and that will tell you what is all compatible with this particular figure here. This you'll see is the Genesis 8 male with a orc blend applied to it. And this will tell you like everything that is compatible with the Genesis 8 figure, and there's a lot of stuff. I don't have a lot for the Genesis 8. I've recently just got back into it with all of the bridge technologies that Daz has been putting out. So I decided to hop back in, and I bought the orc and the armor for it, and a couple of other different outfits that will apply to it. So the cool thing about Daz and why you would want to use it for Unity is the different uh, posings and shapes that you can apply to it. And the outfits actually will uh, morph and scale with the actual figure itself. So if I want to scale it down to, make a little mini orc, I can do so. If you want to add, let's see, where is the actors? And these are all of the different morphs that you can apply to your character. Some of these I paid for extra, some of these are built in. I think the ones that are different colors are extra paid for. I think the red ones are, I think just kind of the built-in ones. So if you want an emaciated orc, you can do so. You can just up that morph, and you can see that the outfit will actually morph to the character, and that makes creating different characters almost trivial, really. So say you also wanted to have, where's the head? Feet. You want orcs with beast feet. You can do so, which you can't really see because he's got shoes on. Anyways, let's see. You can. There's the head. So you can give the orc an alien head if you want. No, I can't. Yes, I can. That's funny looking. Anyways, so after you get your character here all set up like you want them, one of the things that you'll need to do, because Daz characters are stupidly high res. Um, this model has a couple of million polygons to it. Uh, but one of the plugins that I bought many moons ago was the Decimator plugin. And this will allow you to reduce the polygon count while attempting to keep the topology of the character as consistent as possible. I don't think I should attempt to decimate it while streaming uh, and running Daz and Unity all at the same time. That might do bad things to this computer. But we'll let you know that this orc dude has already been decimated about as far as I can without really jacking things up. This figure, uh, well, his outfit, anyways, is kind of a worst case scenario when it comes to decimating all the little trinkets and doodads here. Uh, do not appreciate uh, having their polygons all messed with. But after you get your character set up the way you like it, um, we're not going to deal with animations here. You definitely can animate your character. through regular keyframing, or if you can bring in motion capture data if you want. That's kind of beyond the scope we're going to deal with here tonight. You can do once you get it into Unity, it is has your all your different avatar and all of that can work just like normal once you get it in. So yeah, once we get our character the way we like it, get it decimated down to something reasonable, uh, you need to install your bridge, and you can do that through the Daz Central here. When you go into your Daz to Unity here in your plugins, you'll have a Daz to Unity bridge that you can install from here. And then once you install it, you will have a send to Daz to Unity here. And the first time that you do this, you'll need to give it a name. You'll need to tell it it's a skeletal mesh, so you have all your bone structure here. Nope, that won't do. I also enable morphs here. And what this will do is this will export any number of those morph parameters that I scrolled through before, will export those into Unity as FBX blend shapes. And I'll show you how we can manipulate those when we get over into Unity. But here, when you choose your blend shape, yoink, you will choose a selection here of your different items here that you're exporting, and you just basically choose whichever blend shapes that you want. So if you're doing like a character creator thing and like an MMO or something like that, you can export any of these items here, and you can have the player manipulate them in Unity, and then save that blend shape out into your custom character. What I did was I'm just exporting the visemes, which are part of the head, pose controls head, down here in the visemes. These are just your mouth shapes. So when you're doing lip syncing, um, I have a couple of other assets that will do lip syncing in Unity, and they need these different mouth shapes, which works actually kind of spooky well for voiceover lip syncing stuff. I also added some of the other expressions here for shock, angry, afraid, flirting, um, and whatnot. I'll show you those when we get over into Unity. I also exported some of the hand shapes for fists, for grabbing, for the left and right hand. That just makes grabbing different objects a little bit easier, especially for this axe. And you can also save these presets. So if you have other characters that you can just slot in, and they'll have all the same morph presets. None of these are specific to the orc or the male Genesis figure, except you can also do subdivisions. You really don't want to do this for game dev purposes because that just increases your poly count, and that is the exact opposite of what we want to do. You'll have to give it your Unity project asset folder, and that will just, you can just browse out to it wherever you have that saved. And the first time that you export, you'll want to install these Unity files. These are a number of import scripts that will let Unity import your file here correctly, and it also will adjust some of the different materials uh, that just importing the raw FPX does not handle correctly. Before, like the hair here is like doesn't actually export transparently. The eyes get all messed up when you just import the raw FBX, and that was going to be the majority of this talk. But they do all that stuff for you now. And I would export all this out, but this particular character, like I said, it's kind of a worst case scenario. This takes about 10 minutes to, actually probably about 5 minutes to export, but in Unity it takes about 10 minutes to actually import and create all of the materials and stuff for you. Okay, so we're going to hop over into Unity here. The other thing to note here is that in Unity, uh, this DAS exporter only supports the high definition render pipeline. This is will not work if you're using the standard pipeline or the universal render pipeline. So yeah, this is our uh, decimated orc here. I also have the undecimated orc. This one probably took about 15 minutes to import. Oh God, this might actually re-import. It shouldn't. There we go. So this is the orc, completely undecimated, and I don't know if it actually tells you. I have to hit play to show how many actual polygons this is. But even this runs fairly well. I'm going to do some tests with these figures in VR. I just got my Quest 2 in uh, today, actually about 30 minutes ago. So I'll be doing some more testing on this, and we might do a VR talk with this next month, maybe. We'll see how all that works out. But uh, this is the undecimated orc, and this is the decimated one. A lot of this is unchanged. Like I said, the armor here really did not like being decimated at all. So these are like full res. But the uh, base model, the skin, all basically everything you see is green here, is basically got decimated down to about 5% of normal. And you can see here, you might not be able to see that here. Uh, these are the files that Daz will create for you. Uh, when you do the create Unity files, this is what it creates for you. When you import your character here, what it actually exports is this DTU file, which is just a JSON file, and your actual FBX file here. Now, by default, the materials will come over here. It puts each submesh into its own folder with all of the different PBR materials that you need for it. This is what takes the most time because there's a lot of different pieces, especially to this particular model here. And each one of those had all their own materials for it. So by default, the uh, Daz model comes in as a generic animation type. So if you're going to do different uh, mechanism uh, controller for any kind of motion capture retargeting, you'll need to change this to humanoid. And when you do that, it has to re-import. So that's something to keep in mind. I've done that already with all of these characters, and I just gave them a little test controller, and we'll see how they kind of work here. There we go. So as you can see here, this is just the standard HDRP standard sample scene, and just with these three characters, I'm running here at 70, 80 FPS here, depending on where I'm looking at. The only real weirdness that I've seen so far is with the hair. Uh, I might have to do some tweaking with that. This is the Viking hair, I guess, that just got released. The standard orc here doesn't have hair. Uh, I'm not sure if that is like post-processing or whatever, but Daz hair is generally bad for games because it's each strand is like individually modeled out, so it gets kind of crazy. But all in all, I really like how this actually turns out, and I could probably put 7 or 8 of these characters in the scene and probably not get too chunky here. But again, I haven't actually tested this in VR, which was going to be my main use case for this. All right. So, anyways, yeah, like I said, this is kind of a short one because they just made this too easy here. That you just send it to Unity and it all just kind of works now. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, this will be up on YouTube uh, probably later tonight if I can tear myself away from the new quest I just got. Anyways, that's it. So you guys have a good one.